Hey, good morning. It is 10:05 in the morning. We are on June 11th, so that makes day 53 now here in Thailand. Cheap bicycle through Thailand. We're coming up to the last little stretch. I'm here still in Trang, obviously. If you watched yesterday's video, you would know that. Just looking at what I'm doing today, it looks like it's just a straight shot on the 4 going eastbound for 63 kilometers till I hit Phatthalung. Phatthalung is 63 kilometers, and then I'll be joining up with, looks like, the 41 south and the 4, because after they merge together there, it looks like they call the southbound route 4. So that's what I'm shooting for today. Checkout time's 11 o'clock, so everything's packed up over here in the corner. Everything right there is all packed up, and we're ready to go. All it takes is for me to step out that door. So yeah, I don't really know what to add today. It looks like the weather's going to be good. But there's going to be overcast throughout the whole week anyway. But as long as it's not raining, that's the big part. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to get out there and ride, guys. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. The route's very simple. I'll be going over one mountain pass, but I don't know how bad it is. Yeah, but then after after I'm on the other side, it looks like everything's just going through the valley and stuff like that. So I'm gonna get out there and start pushing, guys. All right, let's go. All right, it is 10:41. We're about ready to head out. I'm getting ready to start up the Relive app, and I noticed it. If you guys don't know, I just made a platform switch over from Strava to Relive because Relive has the 3-dimensional map on it. But something that was mentioned is on the actual, when it shows the route, Tom mentioned this, it doesn't give any detail about the streets, the actual street names. I guess you can do a comparison and try and line it up with Google Maps, but it doesn't name any of the streets and stuff, and that's unfortunate. So I am using it for the 3D map, so I can cut that in that it creates a 3D map, and I put that at the end of my videos. So until I can find something that's better, if you guys have any suggestions of an app that might be better, please tell me. But until then, I'm gonna keep using I'm still gonna be using the Relive. Sorry. So I'm gonna go ahead and start up Relive right now. All right, guys, it's time to hit the road. Sorry about that, guys. I had to change a setting on my camera. I had it set on the wrong setting. And it was pointing at the ground. So we're in follow mode right now on the camera, so we should be good. Well, I just got another flat, so I got to find a spot to fix this. I should have one more tube in there. I went and looked for a patch kit. That was one of the reasons why. Come on, focus there. That's one of the reasons I went to Mr. DIY yesterday, but I couldn't find a patch kit. I figured I need to at least have those on me. This one's pretty fast, so it just happened, and yeah, I heard it, and I was like, I hope that was just a rock shooting out sideways and not something going into my tire, but it was something. Yeah, they gave me a flat. So yeah, dig out the last tire and try and find, I'm gonna have to have something, some type of replacement, either a tube or a patch kit. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go back to doing a patch kit. They're just smaller to carry around, that's the reason why. And I have a lot of them. So. All right, well, that's it. That's the problem for the morning. I got to repair a flat. So I got it fixed, but there's not another bicycle shop, repair shop for 49 kilometers in that way. So I'm going to be rolling on my very last one, and the thing that kind of scares me is I couldn't find what actually punctured it. And it was a pretty good puncture, so I'm going to hang on. And that was actually through, I have one of these actually cut, and I've been using as like a as an armor on the back, on my back tire. So even on the last flat, it went through that. But on the last flat, I was able to find it. It was a big object. It was one of those wires from, I think, the sidewall of a scooter tire or something. But yeah, so it's 49 kilometers in that direction, or I can go back to Trang 10 kilometers that way. But I don't want to go back, so I'm going to push ahead. I'm going to hang on to this. Maybe I can find somewhere that'll actually put a patch on it. And like a scooter spot. The spot that repairs scooters should be able to repair this, no problem. So I'm going to do that, push ahead. All I have to do is put the bolts on this, or the nuts on this, and start rolling. Yeah, like I said, the only thing that scares me is I can't find the object that actually punctured it. Feels like it's holding air though. I put the old tire back in, the one that I've been using for armors, so if it's a small object that's not, there's nothing actually protruding from the inside of the tire, so I don't know what to do. Maybe it was an object that went in and came right back out like a nail or something, but I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. But that'll be the second time that that's happened to me. I couldn't find one of the objects one of the times long ago. You remember when I got like 8 or 9 flats in a row? Yeah, one of those, I couldn't find one of the objects. Yeah, guys. So I'm gonna roll. It kind of scares me to roll with no patch kit and no spare tires, but if it gets down to it and I have a flat, I stick out my thumb and hitchhike to get to Phatthalung. So anyway, guys, that's the update. I'm about ready to roll. All right, it's 2 o'clock. I'm back up on the road. I'm gonna start the relive again. I paused it, so I'm gonna resume, and we're gonna hit the road. I was trying to actually run relive and strata at the same time, but it was just draining my battery way too quick. I thought I could get away with maybe keeping it off and running both of them. you know, because the screen doesn't need to be on to actually. But yeah, it just seemed like it was pulling way too fast off my battery. So that's not an alternative, but it was worth the try. And like I said, I'm only 10 kilometers outside of Trang. So yeah, it's a slow go. Slow start to the day, guys. And I'm going to go ahead and try and make this where I just hope I don't get another flat. But luckily today was actually it's supposed to be a good weather for at least a week maybe, if I'm lucky. So I found someone to repair it for 30. So I'm gonna be rolling with a flat. Well, I'll be rolling with a spare so I can get it done. Awesome. And 30 is a great price. I mean, it's a proper price. Awesome. So luckily they just were right down the street. All right, we're in Phatthalung actually right now, at least in the district, but we're not actually to the town. The town about 19 kilometers away is a hotel I was able to find. It's the only one that for $7. Not the greatest reviews, but for $7 I'm not going to complain. So yeah, it's been nice weather all day today, so I wouldn't complain about camping on a bus bench, but ooh, nice. But hey, it's less than $10 hotel room. It falls into my rules. I'm allowed to stay in it. So yeah, 18 more kilometers, guys, and we'll be there. I just saw this one when I was passing by and it looked neat. I know it's still under construction or whatever. They're still building the statues or whatever. But yeah, yeah, it just got my interest, so I had to pull off. I'm still heading over to the hotel though, so I'm off and running again. Oh, it is 8:08 right now. I already made it to my hotel room. I just came out to get some groceries down at the 7-Eleven, something to drink on tonight while I'm doing my editing. I'm just heading back right now. Yeah. I haven't really seen any of the town, so I can't make any comments on it. I saw a few night markets and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm just heading back to the hotel room. It's an old one. It definitely is an old one. But that's alright. It was the only one that was under $10. So, hey, I'm not complaining. Well, I am, but I really shouldn't be. But, yeah, no, it's somewhere right around here. I just have to remember where it's at. Okay, guys, I'll find it. And there we are. Home sweet home. Hey guys, I made it back all nice and safe. It's 8:20 and we're actually coming up to the last few hundred kilometers before I actually hit the border. If I'm planning on actually exiting the border at the Phuket KU Hitam border. Forgive me the butcher, but that's just me. I butcher these things. Yeah, that is only... Give me a second here real quick. That is only 151 kilometers. And I have 5 days. A minimum of 5 days until my paperwork's actually passed. It should be in the by 6 p.m. on the 15th, but you know, just call it the 16th at that point because I'm not going to do an evening border crossing anyway. So there is another possibility. I was originally going to take the east coast of Thailand all the way down, but I ended up going towards Phuket and stuff like that, so I ended up crossing over to the west side of Thailand. The original crossing I was going to go out on was, let me pull it up real quick. It's the Tekbai border checkpoint, and that is actually 332 kilometers from here. So I'll put in a screenshot of that. If I wanted to go that way. I actually have plenty of time to actually make that one too. Especially if I throw down two 100s, you know what I'm saying? If I do 2 days of 100, then I just knocked off the biggest portion of it. But I could still make it at 50 kilometers a day or 60 kilometers a day, still make it no problem. That would put me on the east side of the island again. You might be going, why? Because I was thinking about circling all of Malaysia. If I started on the east side coast, I could run southbound on Malaysia down to where I basically hit Singapore area and then turn around at the Singapore border and go up northbound again. And instead of my starting point being like Georgetown and stuff, that would be actually my last one. That would allow me to actually hop the ferry and go over to Sumatra and start my journey in Sumatra. I mean, I'm going to have 3 months in Malaysia anyway, but I definitely want to get Sumatra in there. You know, it is an island I want to see, and I want to go from Sumatra southbound. So, yeah, and when I want to see all the Indonesias. But one thing someone mentioned is you can get a year for about $200. There's a possibility of getting a year visa in Indonesia, and if that's true, I'll have to look into that. That would be a good visa for me to get, because then I could hit all the islands and stuff like that, you know. And Indonesia, I do believe, is another one of the cheap ones, right? Bali's pretty expensive, or inexpensive and stuff like that. So anyway, this is just something that's going across my mind, and I got to make up my mind like immediately tonight, because tomorrow, you know, I've either got to, it looks like Hat Yai is the deciding point of which way I need to go. So I have to make up my mind before I hit there, and that'll be tomorrow when I hit there. So, all right, guys. Well, pretty sure you guys, if I post this tonight, you guys will make the comments on which one you think I should hit. But honestly, I would like to cover it. It's nice and tidy that way if I go to the east side and cross on the east side, but it doesn't give me much if there's any problems. It's also a ferry crossing. I have to do a ferry crossing at that checkpoint, but you can. Yeah, okay, guys. Anyway, that's just going over my brain. That's what I'm thinking about doing. I'll think about it tonight. If you guys watch this video, drop some comments, and maybe I'll read them I'll try and read them in the morning and see what you guys think. All right, guys, I got to get to editing if I want to get this up tonight. Good night, y'all. See you tomorrow.